obey my command so that you may live. Acquire wisdom, acquire understanding. It says, do not forget. Do not turn away from the words that I have spoken. Do not abandon wisdom, and it will watch over you. That's what using your head to do. You know, we have to go through a lot of things here in life, but most of those things, most of those things I'm not going to say. All those things are from your choices, making the right choices. If you make the wrong choice, you got to live with that too. You have to go along and go through it. Love wisdom, and it will protect you. The beginning of wisdom is to acquire wisdom, acquire understanding of all that you have. Cherish wisdom. It will raise you up. It will bring you honor when you embrace it. It will give you a graceful garland for your head. It will hand you a beautiful crown. We're looking for a crown of glory. If you use your head and choose life, wisdom will benefit you. If you choose life, that's the biggest choice that you'll ever have to make. You either choose life or you choose death and destruction. And the word says, let me go over here, because I don't want you to think that I'm making it up. But the word says, I read my mom's Bible when I was young, and it said that you will be consumed. Consume is to destroy. Consume is to use up. And I'm going to read this right here in Malachi chapter 4. It said, the day of the Lord brings judgment. It says, certainly the day is coming. It will burn like a furnace. All arrogant people and all evildoers will be like straw. The day is coming, will burn them up completely, says the Lord of armies. It won't leave a single root or branch. Verse 2 says, the Son of Righteousness will rise with healing in his wings for you people who fear my name. You will go out and leap like calves let out of a stall. Verse 3 said, you will trample on wicked people, because the day I act, they will be ashes under the soles of your feet, says the Lord of armies. Which means you will be consumed. I go to Revelation 20 and 10 briefly. Let me get over here and read to you what it says. 20 and 10 says, the devil who deceived them was thrown into the fiery lake of sulfur, where the beast and the false prophets were also thrown. They will be tortured day and night forever and ever, which means that the wicked have mortality, have immortality. And here in Malachi 4 and 3, it says that we'll be trampling on wicked people, because the day I act, they will be ashes under the soles of your feet. You can't be ashes under the soles of anybody's feet and burn forever and ever. That the two don't go together. But it's your life to believe what you want. But I know when I was a kid, I was raised on a farm, and the Bible was the only book we had to read. It wasn't like we had choices. We could read this or that. We had the Bible to read. And I remember when I was young, just started reading, and I was reading the Bible, and it said that you would be consumed. Consume means to use up. Not just a little bit and let it go, you know what I mean, a part of the way. Consume means to use up completely. You have to stay on the path of wisdom. And verse 10, Proverbs 4 and 10 says, my son, listen and accept my words, and they will multiply the years of your life. So I've taught you the way of wisdom. I've guided you along decent paths. When you walk, your stride will not be hampered. Even if you run, you will not stumble. We fall down, but we get up. Every now and then we do fall down, but we get back up. You have to know that you want to get back up. You have to know that it's worth it to you to get up. Verse 13 says, cling to discipline. Do not relax your grip on it. Keep it because it is your life. Do not stray onto the path of wicked people, and do not walk in the way of evil people. Avoid it. Do not walk near it. Turn away from it and keep on walking. If you know it's wrong and you know it's not going to benefit you before you even get into it, why would you make a decision to do it anyway? When you know there's no benefit in it. You know that it could be detrimental to you. Why would you do it? That's not being wise if you do it. And we're discussing wisdom. Wisdom seems not to be used a lot these days. But it's just, people don't understand. People don't understand that we so caught up on running something, being in control of something, that we mess up our own lives. And that's really not a good thing. You think that you're doing it, you know what I mean, you right on top of it, but you're not. You go all the way to your hurt or someone else's hurt, and you still haven't accomplished anything. Use your head. My dad used to say, use your head for more than a hat rack. And you have to do that. If you don't, it's not wise. Because the person that could lose in all of that is you. You don't want to accidentally lose. You can do things that know that's going to destroy your life. And why go to hell by default? That's what you're doing when you make unwise choices and keep on making unwise choices, and you know better. Not knowing is one thing. When you know it, still do it, something is wrong with that. In verse 16, 4 and 16 said, wicked people cannot sleep unless they do wrong, and they are robbed of their sleep unless they make someone stumble. They eat food obtained through wrongdoing and drink wine obtained through violence. But the path of the righteous people is like the light of dawn that becomes brighter and brighter until it reaches midday. The way of wicked people is like deep darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. And all the time, it's a personal choice. It's the choices that you make that make you stumble. Even if you make a bad choice and then you turn around and you correct it, it's still the choices that you make. Stay focused on wisdom. You have to stay focused on it, which means you have to stay focused on making the proper choice. You have to stay focused on that. Because if you don't, it could mean bad things for you. No one else but you. And 4:20, it says, my son, pay attention to my words. Open your ears to what I say. Do not lose sight of these things. Keep them deep within your heart, because they are life to those who find them, and they heal the whole body. The word is for all people. But it's a healer for the sick. When you don't look out for yourself, you're sick. You have a problem whether you know it or not. You have to know that there is a cure. But you got to use your head. Make the right choices. Sometimes we make the right choices and turn out not to be an advantageous choice, which means you then have the option of doing something different and making it better. You have that option. But when you don't change anything to benefit you, you sick. And they call madness doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. You think it gets automatically changed because you want it to change, but you don't want to do anything different. And that's what's wrong with a lot of us. We talk change, we won't change, so-and-so need to change this, and so-and-so need to change that. But those same people that's talking about change, they want somebody else to change. They don't want to change themselves. They want to stay the same, but they want somebody else to change. I hear that phrase a lot, keep it 100. Well, that keep it 100, that means that they want you to tell everything about yourself, but they're not going to be honest with you. That phrase, keep it 100, is a joke. It really is a joke. You want to keep it 100, but you want the next person to keep it 100 with you, but you're not going to keep it 100 with them. But it's all right, You make it like you like it. And if you like it rough, it can be. If you're not wise in your decisions, you can make it rough for yourself. In verse 23, it said, guard your heart more than anything else, because the source of your life flows from it. Remove dishonesty from your mouth and put deceptive speech far away from your lips. Can you do that? That's keeping it 100. But can you do that? Can you be just as honest with the next person as you want them to be with you? So let your eyes look straight ahead and your sight be focused in front of you. You can't get all of this right if you're looking back, trying to do something with that's already passed. There ain't nothing you can do with that. Remember it. That's about all it's good for. Carefully walk a straight path, and all your ways will be secure. Do not lean to the right or to the left. Walk away from evil. In other words, leave it alone. Leave it alone. If it's not your forte, you need to do something to hang with somebody. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do wrong to hang with nobody. Because when it's all said and done, it's your life in jeopardy. You playing following the leader. When they're not walking the right way, the Bible says the blind leading the blind, they both fall in a ditch. That's what the words say. And then you got all these people out here that's committing adultery. Okay, it might seem like it's good, but it's not always good. You know, you got together with the person that you with. 9 times out of 10, you get with a person because you love that person and you wanna spend your life with them. But then, just as soon as they say I do, then you say I won't. I gotta have this too. That's not a good thing. That is not a good thing. But you have to learn. You have to learn that it's not a good thing. Been there, done that. You have to learn that it's not a good thing. You can feel hurt by your partner. You can feel unimportant, unwanted, to make you look in another direction. It don't take much to commit adultery. Some just do it for no reason at all. Just do it. And think that it's okay. But if you got somebody in your life, you are in jeopardy of destroying another life that don't even belong to you. It says here in Proverbs chapter 5, avoid adultery. It's safe for you avoid it. Sometimes it can ruin your life. Verse 1 say, my son, pay attention to my wisdom. Open your ears to my understanding so that you may act with foresight and speak with insight. You may act with foresight and speak with insight. Word to those that want a little wisdom. If you do, ask God. Ask him with a true heart. Mean what you say. And he will give it to you. Verse 3 said, the lips of an adulterous woman drip with honey. Her kiss is smoother than oil, but in the end she is as bitter as wormwood, as sharp as a two-edged sword. There's consequences. You might not always like the consequences, but again, it's the choices that you make for your life. It all depends on whether you have to face that two-edged sword. Her feet descends to death. Her steps leads straight to hell. She doesn't even think about the path of life. Her steps wander, and she doesn't realize it. She don't even realize it. And you making the wrong choices, you don't realize it either. But now, sons, listen to me in verse 7, and do not turn away from what I say to you. Stay far away from her. Do not even go near her door. Either you will surrender your reputation to others and the rest of your years to some cruel person, or strangers will benefit from your strength and you will have to work hard in a pagan's house. Then you will groan when your end comes, when your body and flesh are consumed. You will say, "Oh, how I hated discipline. How my heart despised correction." And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how upset people will become at you if you say something and it really makes sense. But if it's fire under their basket and they can't take wisdom, they will be mad at you. You shouldn't hate correction. Take it with a grain of salt. Think about what's been said. Think about if there could possibly be any truth to it. You don't have to get upset every time somebody says something that you don't like. Don't you know you'll be upset for the rest of your life if you do that? Somebody always going to say something that you don't like. It's not your job to like everything that come in your path. It's not your job to react to everything that come in your path. Some things ain't worth reacting to. But you got to know the difference. In verse 5 and 13, it said, "I didn't listen to what my teachers said to me, nor did I keep my ear open to instructors. I almost reached total ruin in the assembly and in the congregation." Your life can be destroyed. It's just that easy. It is just that easy. You think you have to go through something devastating to ruin your life? That's not true. It don't have to be devastating. Just put your heart and trust in the wrong place. It's that easy. And believe me, it is just that easy. In verse 5 and 15 it says, "Drink water out of your own cistern and running water from your own well. Why should water flow out of your spring? Why should your streams flow into the streets? They should be yours alone, so do not share them with strangers." Use your own. That is yours. You don't have to share that with every Tom, Dick, or Harry. You don't have to share that. God wants you to look upon you with something good in mind. He didn't make no junk. Whenever you get done, He didn't make no junk. So if it's yours, you don't have to share it with strangers unless it be your choice. If it be your choice, then do what you do. Verse 18 says, let your own fountain be blessed and enjoy the girl you married when you were young, a loving doe and a graceful deer. Always let her breast satisfy you. Always be intoxicating with her love. Why should you, my son, be intoxicated with an adulterous woman and fondle a loose woman's breast? That's the person that you said you want to be with. That's the person you say you want to share life with. But you would jeopardize it for strangers in the street. Like I say, this is yours. You don't have to share that. That's a personal choice. But you don't have to do it. But then it's difficult for some people to keep their hands to themselves. Some people just automatically want what their eyes see and not what they need or have to have. And 5 and 21, it says, each person's ways are clearly seen by the Lord, and he surveys all his actions. A wicked person will be trapped by his own wrongs, and he will be caught in the ropes of his own sin. He will die for his lack of discipline and stumble around because of his great stupidity. We don't always have a good reason to do the things that we do. But whatever we do, we have to face the consequences. You have somebody that loves you unconditionally, will do anything for you, do anything to stay with you, try to make a happy home with you. You will in turn away from that person to share your springs with strangers. That makes no sense to me. But it's not up to me. I'm not supposed to understand everything. I do realize that. But that one gets me. Why would you do that? Why would you jeopardize your own self? You think about what you have, and is it worth it? Is it worth it to jeopardize that? Everything will come together. You just think about it. Don't just do it. Think about what you're doing before you do it, and you might not even do it. And the word says here in chapter 6, it says avoid disaster. Verse 1 said, my son, if you guarantee a loan for your neighbor or pledge yourself for a stranger with a handshake, you are trapped by the words of your own mouth, caught by your own promise. Do the following things, my son, so that you may free yourself, because you have fallen into your neighbor's hands. Humble yourself and pester your neighbor. Don't let your eyes rest or your eyelids close. Free yourself like a gazelle from the hand of a hunter, and like a bird from the hand of a hunter. 6 said, consider the ant, you lazy bum. Watch it always and become wise. Although it has no overseer, officer, or ruler, in summertime it stores its food supply. At harvest time it gathers its food. How long will you lie there, you lazy bum? When will you get up from your sleep? It said just a little sleep, just a little slumber, just a little nap, then your poverty will come to you like a drifter, and your need will come to you like a bandit. If you don't work for yours, then you're going to be out trying to get somebody else's. And that's a bad thing, because they don't work for them. They've worked hard to get some things, and they still haven't gotten what they want. They have gotten some things. Then you, who have done nothing, turn around and go take it from them. Do you know that is just downright disheartening? When you leave home and come back, go in your house, and somebody done been in it and taken the things that you have, and you did not work for it. That's not a good thing. It's not a good feeling. Been there, done that. It's not a good feeling. And then to think, this is a bad thing, to think that whoever got your stuff is somebody you knew. Now that's the kicker. Listen to me for a minute. Now, a thief come in your house. They're going to try to take everything that they can, anything that has a little value, they're taking it. That's a thief. Somebody you know. A person that's been in your house, know exactly what they want to take. Wait till you turn your back, come in your house, take said things, but they leave things of value, things that you know a thief should have taken. But they just come in your house and pick over the things that they want. That's somebody that's been in your house. If it's somebody that's been in your house, they were supposed to be a friend. You'll know it by what it is. It lets you know whether it's somebody you don't know or somebody that you do know. I don't that crinkle your noodle. If it's happened to you now, you're going to wonder who did it. You got a bunch of friends. You don't need any enemies at all. A person that know you can hurt you. A person that do not know you can cause a little stress, but it will not be as severe. A good-for-nothing scoundrel, says in verse 12, a good-for-nothing scoundrel is a person who has a dishonest mouth. He winks his eye, makes a signal with his foot, and point with his fingers. He devises evil at all the time with a twisted mind. He spreads conflict. Know anybody like that? That is why disaster will come on him suddenly in a moment. He will be crushed beyond recovery. But you know anybody like that? Just pessimistic. There's something to be upset about at all times. All time. If it's nothing but to be upset about how your food was served or what you ate, just mad all the time. How can you use that much energy? My God. It takes a lot of energy to be mad all the time. It takes a lot of energy away from you to think about devising wrong all the time. You know, some people just have to be in that zone. They just have to be just so. But they're mad all the time. They're discouraged all the time. They can't talk nothing positive to you because they're mad and discouraged all the time. How can you have that in your life and it don't bother you? Proverbs 6:16 said, there are 6 things that the Lord hates, even 7 that are disgusting to him. Arrogant eyes, a lying tongue, hands that kill innocent people, a mind devising wicked plans, feet that are quick to do wrong, a dishonest witness spitting out lies, and a person who spreads conflict among relatives. Now, let me do this again, because you need to think about what I said and see if it any way touches you. Or see if there's somebody that you're hanging around with that this applies to. I said earlier, I spoke on going to hell by default. This is one of those times. Think about it. Arrogant eyes, a lying tongue, hands that kill innocent people, a mind devising wicked plans, feet that are quick to do wrong, a dishonest witness spitting out lies, and a person who spreads conflict among relatives. These are 7 things that the Lord hates. That ought to be 7 things that you hate. None of that stuff sounds good. None of it. You should think about those 7 things that I just mentioned. Because being involved with any in any kind of capacity do not make you in the know. Do not make you the person that folks want to hang with. These things will hinder you. These things will hinder you. So you think about it. You think about it. Now I'm going to go over one more time. One more time. The first one. Arrogant eyes, a lying tongue, hands that kill innocent people, a mind devising wicked plans, feet that are quick to do wrong, a dishonest witness spitting out lies, and a person who spreads conflict among relatives. did I come anywhere close to your neighborhood? If I did, you think about those things. Does that apply to you or apply to somebody that you know, somebody that you're hanging with? You know what I mean? And you have to think about going to hell by default. Think about it. And then there's more advice in chapter 6 here about avoiding adultery. Verse 26 and 20 says, my son, obey the command of your father and do not disregard the teachings of your mother. Fasten them on your heart forever, hang them around your neck. When you walk around, they will lead you. When you lie down, they will watch over you. When you wake up, they will talk to you. Because the command is a lamp, the teachings are a light, and the warnings from discipline are the path of life. To keep you from an evil woman and from the smooth talk of a loose woman. It says in 25, do not desire her beauty in your heart. Do not let her catch you with her eyes. A prostitute's price is only a loaf of bread, but a married woman hurts for your life itself. A prostitute's price is only a loaf of bread, but a married woman hunts for your life itself. Can a man carry fire in his lap without burning his clothes? Can anyone walk on red hot coals without burning his feet? So it is with a man who has sex with his neighbor's wife. None who touch her will escape punishment. People do not despise a thief who is hungry. When he steals, he satisfies his appetite. But when he is caught, he has to pay it 7 times. He must give up all the possessions in his house. If a thief fill his house with things that belong to someone else, and he gets caught, then he loses everything. Everything. Do you care enough about what you have tied yourself to? Do you care enough about it not to lose it and everything else? Whoever commits adultery with a woman has no sense. Whoever does this destroys himself. An adulterous man will find disease and dishonor, and his disgrace will not be blotted out, because jealousy arouses a husband's fury. Jealousy arouses a husband's fury. Fury against you for putting your hands on something that do not belong to you. He might forgive that woman, but he'll never forgive you. The husband will show no mercy when he takes revenge. No amount of money will change his mind, and the largest bribe will not satisfy him. You have to love yourself enough to pay attention. You have to love yourself enough to want things to go right. You have to love yourself enough not to jeopardize everything that you have for a little bit of nothing. And if you don't, you will give away your whole ranch for a little bit of nothing. Life is not complicated. People complicate it. Life is wonderful. It really is wonderful. But it's people that complicate life. You know, let me get over here. And this is in Ecclesiastes 4:9. It says, two are better than one. Two people are better than one because together they have a good reward for their hard work. If one falls, the other one can help his friend get up. But how tragic it is for the one who is all alone when he falls. There's no one to help him get up. Again, if two people lie down together, they can keep warm. But how can one person keep warm? Though one person may be overpowered by another, two people can resist one opponent. A triple braided rope is not easily broken. Use your head. Whatever you do, use your head, because the choices that you make, no one have to face those consequences but you. And everything you do have consequences. It's either going to be good or bad. But there will be consequences. You got to know that you cannot go through this life unscathed. There's no way that you can go through this life and you are totally unscathed. Everything is just right with you and you haven't done anything right since you was born almost. But you're going to pass through unscathed. That will not happen. There are consequences to everything that you do. Whether they are good or bad, there will be consequences. And while you thinking that everything is okie dokie and you just got it going on, it says here in Ecclesiastes 1:9, it says whatever has happened before will happen again. Whatever has been done before will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. The word said that. So what you are trying to do, it's already been done. Then why is saying you think you got it? It's already been said. You have to know there's nothing new under the sun. You could go to Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9, and read it for yourself. I didn't make it up. I didn't make it up. There's nothing new under the sun. No matter how hip you think you are, there's nothing new under the sun. Love yourself enough to make just wise decisions. If it's going to benefit you, fine. If it's not going to benefit you, why do that to yourself? Whatever's done, whatever the consequences are, good or bad, you just have to take whatever's given to you, because there's nothing you can do about it unless you change the way you think and act. Choose life instead of death and destruction. If you choose life, you'll want to learn what it takes to keep it that way. Now, Father God, thank you for being here with us today. Thank you, Lord, for opening our minds to understand what it is that we heard in your name. Lord, thank you for being who you are and the way that you are. In the name of Jesus, amen. Well, I got to get on up out of here. I'll be here next week, and we'll continue this, because the decisions that are being made now are really not wise decisions. Decisions are made, and it's like you have really no mind at all. You know, you do things that you know is only right for you. That's not good. You do things that are going to be detrimental to somebody else. But we'll speak further on wisdom next week. In the meantime, God love you, I love you, and do love yourselves. Until then.
Here's the
Oh, you got a good card.
yeah, we recorded already, so we'll